everybody, it's Kristin. So I have a tag video for you today. I don't normally do 2 tag videos in 1 week, but they're, I feel like lately tag videos kind of go in streaks. All of a sudden there won't be any for a couple of months, and then there's a whole bunch of them that I get tagged for. So today I'm going to do, I think it's called My First. There seem to be a couple of versions of this, but I'm fairly certain this is the right one that I was tagged for. A couple of people, I saw some of my friends do this, and then Kassie from Shades of Kassie tagged me, so thank you for tagging me, Kassie. I'll go ahead and get started. I actually printed these out about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days ago, but didn't look at the questions, so here we go. Do you still talk to your first love? I do. He and I don't talk to him like on the phone. On occasion we will email. He and I are both sports buffs, so we will, email back and forth, sometimes sports things. And he runs an eliminator pool on ESPN that I'm in every year, but maybe 4 or 5 times a year is tops, and we were always really good friends. So what was your first alcoholic drink? Well, I should have asked my parents how old I was, but I'm going to guess I was about 6-ish, something like that. And we were camping, and we always used these little red plastic cups to drink out of when we were camping. And my parents were drinking wine, and we were drinking red Kool-Aid with our meal, and I took a big old swig of my mom or my dad's, I don't know which, wine by accident. And we still talk about that to this day. What was your first job? I guess technically my first paying job was babysitting when I was younger. Then when I was about 13, during the summers, I volunteered. I wanted to do something. I didn't want to just sit at home, so I volunteered at a nursing home in town, and like with their activities director, I would go in and play bingo or read them their mail, or I would I'd run the ice cream shop. There's a story there, but probably it'd be for a different video. But anyway, I had a really good time doing that, and met some amazing people while I was doing it. So, what was your first car? So my first car was a 1986 powder blue Ford Escort wagon diesel stick shift. Oh, I was so proud of that car, and it was just, it cost me so much money after the fact. I should have listened to my parents. Who is the first person to text you today? I actually can't look. I turned my phone on a little bit ago, and I don't think anybody's texted me today yet because it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. So, but I turned my phone on and it started doing some iOS update, something or other. So, sorry, no answer for that. Who was the first person you thought of this morning? Bob, my husband. He is the first person I think of every morning. Who was your first grade teacher? Well, I think her name was Mrs. Dannon. She might have been my 2nd grade. I don't remember exactly, but I think Mrs. Dannon. Where did you go on your first ride on an airplane? I would have gone to Montpelier, Vermont, and I think I was 7th grade. So we would have been still living in Wisconsin. It was before we had moved to Pennsylvania for a little stint there. 6th grade, 7th grade, something like that. But anyway, my sister and I flew out ahead of my parents and spent a week with my grandparents and family out there, and then my parents came out and spent a week. So that was my first airplane ride. Who was your first best friend, and do you still talk? Probably my first best friend was when I lived in Waukesha, and her name was Debbie. And I remember that her birthday was like 5 days after mine, and we did stuff all the time. I loved hanging out with her, and no, we don't talk. I have no idea where she is. We moved a lot when I was younger. Excuse me. Who was your first sleepover? I don't remember, quite honestly. I didn't do it a lot. My parents, thankfully, were very strict, and we had, I had to make sure that their parents were there, and not everybody had those same, not everybody's parents thought that was important, and so, yeah, I had more people over to my house, I think, than I went to people's. It was just easier that way. Who was the first person you talked to today? You guys! I'm talking to you. I haven't talked, I guess that's not true. I talked to Bob this morning when he got up. Sometimes he's gone before I get up in the morning, but he was here this morning, so I talked to him this morning. What was the first concert you ever went to? Okay, prepare yourselves for the cool factor that is Kristin game. My first concert was Bette Midler. And I actually think I was almost 21. My parents were really strict, and when we lived in Pennsylvania, which was like my 7th grade through 11th grade years, there weren't a lot of concerts that would have come close to where we lived. So, yeah, Bette Midler. What was the first thing you did this morning? The first thing, oh no, wait, I skipped one. Whose wedding were you in the first time? I'm fairly certain it was my sister's. And that started a string of, I believe I have 9 bridesmaids dresses downstairs in the thing. I have like 27 dresses. I only have 9. What was the first thing you did this morning? The first thing I do every morning is take my phone off of my iHome because that's my alarm. And then I always check my emails to see what's happened overnight and comments I got on YouTube and that kind of thing. So it's the first thing I do every morning. What was the, oh, I did the first one. Boy, I'm skipping all over here, but whatever. First broken bone. When I was 6, I fell out of a tree and broke my right arm. We like to joke that my sister pushed me out of the tree, but she didn't actually. So yeah, that was my first broken bone. First piercing was my ears, the one hole in each ear, and that I did the very first time when I was in 4th grade. I played with them a bunch. They got really infected, so my mom made me take them out, and they closed up. And then I think I did it again at the end of 5th grade. I had to earn it back. First foreign country you've gone to, it was Canada, I believe, would have been the first one. And I've only ever been to Canada and then Mexico, which is where we went on our honeymoon. But yeah, Canada. And I can't go anywhere now because I don't have a passport. I know I need one. First movie you remember seeing. Okay, I don't know if I actually remember this or if there's been so many stories told about it that that's why I remember it. But Puff the Magic Dragon, I'm fairly certain. I remember that I was very young, and I remember that I had an ear infection and that my dad held me in his lap the whole movie because I used to get ear infections a lot when I was little and they hurt. I remember them hurting. Anyway, yes, Puff the Magic Dragon, and I know my whole family went, meaning at that point it was just me, my mom, my dad, and my sister. But I remember my dad holding me. When was your first detention? I think 7th-ish grade, and it absolutely was for talking. I was a good kid though. I was a total square. I never did anything I shouldn't have done, aside from talking way too much. Who is your first roommate? Well, technically, my first roommate would be my brother Matthew. He is 8 years younger than me, and when in one of our moves, before we moved to Pennsylvania in one of our homes, it wasn't like we moved every year. It seemed like about every 4 or 5 years. You know, something would change with my dad's job and we would move. But, so my brother Matthew technically was my first roommate, and he and I shared a room when he was very young for 3-ish years, I think, something like that. I got my own room when we moved the next time. If you had one wish, what would it be? Oh, goodness. Probably just safety and health for all of my family and loved ones. That's a really hard one wish. What is something you would learn if you had the chance? I had to think about that one a little bit. I think I would pick a language that I would want to learn. Probably Spanish would be the best choice. You know, living in the United States and knowing that there are lots of Spanish-speaking people in the United States. I think probably Spanish I would want to learn Spanish. I kind of know French. No, I don't know French. I kind of have an idea about some French words. I took French for 4 years in high school, but what were the first lessons you ever took? I would have to say probably swimming lessons. I've taken lots of lessons over the years. I took swimming lessons for a very long time, and I took ballet, a little bit of jazz. I kind of took tap, but not really, which is a long story. And then saxophone lessons. And I played saxophone and flute, but I kind of taught myself flute. So I guess, I'm trying to think timing-wise, I really think swim lessons would have been the first lessons that I took. Bonus question. Who is the first person beauty-related on YouTube you ever watched? I am fairly certain, I can't remember actually. I went on YouTube to find out how to do a winged liner, which clearly didn't work. But I think early on when I searched for that, it led me to like All the Glitters 21, Lollipop 26, Makeup by Tiffany D, and then those people kind of led me to other people like Vintage or Tacky, Emily Noel 83, you know, those kind of people. So I can't remember who it was actually that I watched the wing liner on. I don't think it's somebody that I ended up subscribing to, but that kind of led me into, you know, the other ones. And you know, some of those I don't watch anymore. Like I don't watch All the Glitters 21 anymore. It's just, you know, I'm sure she's very nice, just not my cup of tea. I was happy to find, as I did some more searching, you know, more people kind of closer to my age and that sort of thing. And I'm glad that I ventured off of that because I found some really amazing people on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed your bonus Sunday video. Every once in a while I'll do a little bonus Sunday video for you. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!